Well, hello there, Retro PC Durham. It's Chris here. We have another tower machine here, this HP Pavilion of unknown origin. I don't have stickers on it or anything to show which model it is, but that's okay because the original system board that was in here was toast. We had some bad caps. It had to get ejected. However, we do have a replacement board in here, and we're going to check out what's inside. I find that this happens a lot, right? We get these brand name or OEM machines, but then when you open it up, I've ended up having to change some parts inside, and it's like a whole new machine. So let's pop the lid and take a look at what's going on inside this machine. After we take a look at the front here, we've got a pretty standard array. Optical drive there, blank here. You push this down, you've got some USB ports to be able to plug some stuff into as audio ports. And then when we flip around to the rear of the machine, spin this around, and we've got our power supply and then our system board here where we've got ports here for keyboard and mouse. We've got onboard graphics, and then we've got some USB ports, Ethernet, and audio. A standard affair. Let's remove this case side panel and take a look inside the machine. Here's our top-down view inside this HP case. We have a Gigabyte board in here. This is a GA-F2A55M-DS2. It's an FM2 board, so we do have an APU in here. And then the power supply is a light-on power supply. I'm pretty sure this is the original power supply that was in this case. It's possible I had to remove those. Well, no, it says HP part number, so it is the original. This is a 300 watt ATX power supply. Our optical drive, we've got a 320 gig, 3.5 inch SATA hard disk drive installed in its slot here. And then we've got our case fan plugged in as well. So nice clean design, not really much room here for doing cable management, but we do have a relatively clear flow to be able to get access to the air that may come in through the front and through the side panel. The side panel does have some holes in it, and there's some holes on the other side panel as well. So there are places for air to come in. We only have these 3 fans in the PSU, the case, and in the CPU or the APU itself to be able to draw stuff through. So let's get this set up with the rest of the accessories and see what we've got for boot. We are now all plugged in. We've got our case set up with this Dell LCD monitor and a Dell USB keyboard, and then we've got a Dynex USB mouse. So all the components are hooked up. We're now going to hit the power button and see what happens. Oh, we've got a little glowing LED top part here on the case. We've got our initialization. Our Gigabyte system board setup is saying, looks like things are okay. I'm going to boot up, and we are ready to go. All right, so Windows is going to load up here. We're going to readjust to get a better view of the screen, and we are going to take a look at system specs. So it goes without saying, from a background noise perspective, if you can hear that case fan, it is working. It is sending out all of its RPMs and keeping the inside of that system very cold. Wow. It is going overdrive. Anyways, let's take a look at our specs here. So Hardware Info 64 telling us we have that AMD APU. This is an A6-5400K. So it's a, not a great thing. We're piledriver Trinity. It says we got 2 cores, 2 threads. But we really know that's actually 1 core, 2 threads in terms of actual performance. So it's pretty low end. On board graphics wise, we do have that Radeon HD 7540D, which is a good graphics for like standard desktop capability. And it's using up to 768 megabytes worth of the 4 gig of memory that's installed on this system with a pair of Micron 2 gig DIMMs. Storage-wise, we've got a 320 gig SATA hard drive that we already saw when we had the machine opened up, and then that DVD rewriter. So, machine's okay. Let's see how it can handle something like, say, I don't know, maybe a YouTube video. So with a screen resolution of 1280 by 1024, 720p would be the ideal resolution. We're going to try 1080p first. even though this is a single core, maybe you could call it a dual core processor, it's running at 3.8 gigahertz, and it does have all the instructions, up to date, up to AVX, and the graphics are pretty good for, integrated graphics. So I think that we should be okay at 1080p. Let's see if I am right. I'll hit the play button here and we'll check it out. Frame drops are great, right? We're 2, and we haven't seen another frame drop since I hit the play button, really. And I'm not seeing much in the way of stuttering. Everything looks like it's moving. I think I might have seen a little bit of hesitation there as the camera was panning over to the cave here. Let's wait until we get those crabs walking out on the sand. We're still only 10 frames dropped out of 1,000, so that's 1% frame drops is perfectly acceptable in my point of view for one of these older machines. But yeah, there is a little bit of hesitation I can see. So if we dropped down to 720p, I would expect there to be nothing happening in terms of bad quality here as a result. Which I think is acceptable, right? For a single core hyperthreaded processor, essentially, from a performance perspective, to be, kind of stuck at 720p in terms of functionality, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, we're fine here at 720p. I think that's the right choice. And I think you made the right choice by sticking around to the end of the video, watching the whole thing with me. Thanks, as always, for coming and spending time with me, taking a look at these refurbished and fixed up machines that are going to be going to charity, to a donation into the hands of someone who otherwise would not have a computer to be able to learn on, or to start a new life, or to just get out of the the dump that they've got themselves stuck in, or that someone else stuck them in, and deal themselves a better hand, essentially. As always, I hope you are staying safe and healthy, and we'll catch you in the next one.